Tonight, we have a very special guest, folks. He's the one who made your phone, computers, tablets, and other devices. Please welcome Steve Jobs. It's a pleasure to be here today. So, Steve, can I call you Steve? Yes. Well, I hear that you were adopted, and your adopted parents are Clara and Paul Jobs. Yep, I was born on February 24th, 1955, in San Francisco. See? Interesting. Tell me more. As a young whippersnapper, I was a prankster. I pulled lots of pranks on my friends and family. Like, for example, I mixed up all the bike locks with my buddy Rick. I also pulled some pranks with my partner Woz. He helped me in making several Apple devices. Anyway, the students and staff were there all night trying to figure out what had happened. That is so funny. What elementary school did you go to? Monte Loma Elementary in Mountain View. I was not the best student, and Mrs. Hill never gave up on me. She'd give me $5 and candy if I'd completed my homework. Weren't you a college dropout? And look at you now. Yep, at Reed College in Portland, Oregon. I wanted to pursue other interests, like following the traditions and customs of Zen Buddhism. When did you make your first computer? And what was it called again? April 1st, 1976. It was called Apple I. Then the public didn't seem to be interested in it, so Woz and I tried again making the Apple II. It seemed to be a much better success. We also came up with the Macintosh project, which evolved many years later, as you know, because you now have the iMac and the MacBook. I later then got very temperamental and stubborn because I decided to take a break from Apple. And then I did some work with the company Next. I developed NextStep, a software program. I also did some work with Pixar. I helped with some movie concepts and ideas. Then I went back to beloved Apple when I invented the iPhone, iPad, iMac, iPod, MacBook, and much more. Woo! What was your family like? Well, as I said before, I was adopted. My dad showed me a lot about design and creating with different tools. I also have a sister, Patty, and my other sister from my biological parents, Mona. Later, my mom was diagnosed with lung cancer. That was a sad time for me and my family, but, especially me. Well, thank you, Steve. It's been a pleasure. And thanks for coming. Yes, thank you. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to go play. Work on my iPad and iPhone. These are some of the designs that Steve Jobs came up with, such as the iPhone, the iPad, iMac, and more.